the beginning. There was no end. Chaos. An empty void of nothingness. This formless void sprang forth a prison so unprotected that it was deemed inescapable.
Whoa. Stop. That's not right. It's not inescapable. And there's always some way. You can use withers, you can use beds. It's impossible to make something inescapable. However, I spent multiple months on this stupid prison and even longer on this voiceover. So I'm done. Here it is. This is Chaos Crater. Hi, by the way, my name is MaxQual. And for the last few months I've been working on and off on this abomination. When I say it's been a long time, I actually don't mean that. It's been like a short while. I only started working on this on the 9th of August 2021, so yeah, not that long. Now I hear you asking, what's this main idea you keep talking about?
That's not what I was asking.
Shut up, it's in the script. So just follow along. That's a great question, thanks for asking it. Basically, the main idea of the prison is to look cool from the outside, but be empty on the inside.
Hey, that's just like...
If the entire prison is empty and the prisoner floats on some bedrock surrounded by nothing, it will be very hard to get out of the prison, since there are no blocks to stand on or to break in order to get out. The rest of the prison is protected by chunk bands and has the standard walls. It also has multiple kill checks and flying machines which are sent back after going to the cell, essentially functioning as one-way doors. One of the new things in this prison is a way to prevent purling on top of the prison. This is achieved by basically making a giant stasis chamber on top of the prison. If any pearl gets on top of the prison, it just floats there. And if it somehow lands, the person that gets teleported there will now float in the stasis chamber with no way to place blocks. If you try and get out of the stasis chamber to the sides, you will get chunk banned. If your pearl lands on the area surrounding the bubble columns, you also get chunk banned. And if your pearl hits the wall of the prison, you also get chunk banned. The walls are also filled with anvils. Hopefully this will give some protection against withers. However, I wasn't able to test this, as they are incredibly annoying to work with. There's also another defense, but this one is so devastating that it's only on one side of the prison. All of these features are controlled by 2 guards, or in my case, 2 accounts both belong to me. The systems are activated and deactivated from the control room, which is located at the top corner of the prison. In the room, there are more than enough items in the chests, armor equipping stations, night vision dispensers, stasis chambers, controls, a bed, and a chest full of handbooks, which describe everything to do in the visiting process. Speaking of the visitor process, let's take a look at how it works. When you want to visit the prison, you first have to get on call with the guard and make sure they turn off 2 chunk bands on the southeast side of the prison. After that, you simply walk down and enter the port. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, those inner chunk bands are always on and going to the nether is useless because it's entirely chunk banned. Instead, you go around the corner and through this annoying weird maze thing, then you dump your items into the ender chest and grab an ender pearl. You throw it down through the iron bars and if everything works correctly, it will be transported into the prison. Now this doesn't work 100% of the time yet and it's very experimental, but it's something new and removes the entire nether from the list of weaknesses, so it's worth it. After the pearl makes it, you will be teleported and have to click a bed and jump into lava. Then you will go down an elevator and click another bed. You go back into the elevator and wait until you die. You will then respawn and there will be a guard waiting for you. You will then follow the guard to some flying machines and go down an elevator. Finally, at the bottom of the elevator there are even more flying machines! Yay! When you finally arrive at the cell, the guard will let you onto the platform and you can visit the prisoner. And once you're done with your visit, you can leave by getting the dev.file.accident.water dev message. I had spent about 12 hours straight working on the prison when I implemented that, so hope that explains it. Now this isn't the entire visiting process, there are also chunk bans and sometimes you have to wait for a guard before respawning, but all of that can be read in the guidebook. If you are enjoying this train wreck so far, then please consider not subscribing to my channel, as I'm not planning on doing something like this again, so you wouldn't get what you want, and you can always change your mind and subscribe later. Now, if you want to download the world, then you can find the link in the description. When you download it, there will be some files included, but if you just want a single player world, you can ignore these and just put the world folder in your saves folder. However, if you want to run the world on a server and get access to the actual chunk ban system, you will have to separately get a spigot 1.17.1 jar file and put it in the folder. Oh, by the way, this whole world is outdated, but I don't feel like updating it because the world height has changed, which would make the entire prison useless. If you don't know how to get a spigot 1.17.1 jar file, I will link a tutorial by TroubleChute on how to get this jar file in the description. After you've pasted this file, you can double-click the start server batch file and agree to the end user license agreement. After which your server should start, and you will be able to log in by typing localhost as a server address. Though you should make sure that it's a spigot server, otherwise the chunk bans will work for a much larger area. Now, in the world, there's also a custom data pack to control the chunk bans. This can be controlled using functions. The functions are toggle_chunk bans, which toggles the chunk bans on and off, and toggle_triggers, which toggles if the trigger chunk bans is allowed or not. The trigger is the same as the chunk ban toggle function, but it can be used by players without op. This information should be enough for people who want to attempt to break out, which I would be really surprised if anyone tried, as this is my first video, so I don't actually expect someone to see it. But it's worth a shot, so if you want to escape, don't worry about bugs or glitches, because I used a lot of them in this prison. So basically, anything is allowed, although sneaking a bed in or using wither cannons really can't be patched. I tried my best to find ways around it, but couldn't be bothered, so the prison is more of a challenge or training ground than an actual prison, but I'm okay with that. Well, I think that does it. Bye!